A desperate girl lies on the ground and is tortured by 43 boys in turn. Yes, you heard it right. There are 43 boys in total. What's more terrifying is that this shocking story actually happened in Korea. After the Korean director Lee Joo-jun changed the case, he made this breathtaking classic, Princess Han. The princess has never been loved by her parents since she was a child. In the face of her father who is drunk all day long, and the mother who always wants to escape from this family, the whole youth of the princess, even finding a place to live, has become a kind of disappointment. So she can only use her school time to work in a convenience store and squeeze into a small rental room with her best friend Hua Yu and try her best to finish her studies, dreaming that one day they can live the life they want. However, the appearance of Hua Yu's boyfriend completely shattered the dream of the princess, which also led to the beginning of the whole tragedy. Her boyfriend Dong-yun is a total loser, and his grades are all messed up, and he hangs out with a bunch of bad boys all day. What's more outrageous is that Dong-yun is exactly that kind of boy. He steals home cigarettes every day to serve his brother, and once his brother is in a bad mood, Dong-yun will turn into a butcher. He is often beaten so badly that Hua Yu can't help it. So at home, he always invites these boys to come to the party and begs them not to bully Dong-yun anymore. One night after the princess came back from work in a convenience store, these boys were drinking at home as usual, and the living room was a mess. This made the princess very angry. It was clearly a house she rented with her own money. Why did she let these losers mess it up? And when Hua Yu was drunk, a few people took pictures of Hua Yu walking away with their phones, and the coward Dong-yun can only be silent on one side, and dare not stop a few people's dirty behavior at all. Seeing a few people so open-minded, the princess, who was originally in a bad mood, finally broke out. A few people who had enough to eat and drink were going to leave. Anyway, it's not fun to stay. But the next sentence of the princess completely angered a few people. Don't do it. Today this is not my house. Donkey, turn off the light first. Hurry up. Fortunately, after a few people bullied Dong-yun, the anger in their hearts was finally eliminated. This made the princess escape, but this scoundrel did not intend to let the princess go. A few days later, under the coercion of a few people, Dong-yun gave a cup of beer with drugs to the princess. Then a few people started to shout, saying that as long as the princess drank this cup of beer, they would never bully Dong-yun again, nor would they come here to harass them again. But how could there be any credibility in what the scoundrel said? When the princess drank the beer, she fainted for a moment. When she woke up again, she had been tied up, and all the boys had left her alone. Even the cowardly Dong-yun was also forced to have a relationship with the princess, and there were also friends of the princess who were bullied. From then on, this rented house full of sweat and that scary star mask became a nightmare for the princess for a lifetime. But it's not over yet. After being bullied, the damage the princess had to face did not end there, because the whole society thinks that it is shameful for a girl to be bullied. Some even say that they are self-sacrificing. Who told them to wear such revealing clothes all day and ask boys to go home for a drink? So what happened was completely their own fault. This logic is no different from hooligans. Even the police responsible for investigating the case had an extremely outrageous attitude towards the princess. Princess Han, look at this. These are the names from your cell phone. These are the names from your cell phone. Here, there are several numbers that are the same as this number. There is also a call history. Young Tae-sik, Kyung Shin, Young Chung, Dong Yun, Tae Kyun, Ha Young, and Young Ho. They are all your friends. Hey, those bad guys who have committed a great sin are the ones who have the right to remain silent. Are you a sinner? Huh? Aren't you going to tell the truth? Hey, wake up, I'm leaving. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. A person has died. You have to tell the truth. As for the princess's best friend, Hua Yu, since that incident, he has disappeared from the world. When he heard about Hua Yu again, he chose to end his life. The princess looked at her friend's body from afar. Her heart was filled with sorrow. She also had some regrets. Because of what happened, the princess, who was angry at the time, thought that Hua Yu was the culprit. If he didn't look for that useless boyfriend, he wouldn't have attracted those bad guys. After that, nothing would have happened. But how can there be so many ifs in life? After all, if he hadn't left Hua Yu, who was pregnant, maybe Hua Yu wouldn't have chosen to end his life. After Hua Yu's death, the princess's life fell to the bottom of the valley. She really couldn't continue to live here. So she went to another city to enter a new school hoping to start a new life. But after being sexually assaulted, the princess didn't get the protection she deserved, but was hurt twice by the whole society. First of all, it was this literate teacher. His task was to take the princess to another city and let the princess start a new life. However, the teacher seemed to be busy, but in fact, he was full of contempt for the princess, because the society at that time generally thought that after a woman was sexually assaulted, she would naturally become a dirty girl. So anyone who knew about the princess's experience would avoid her to avoid unnecessary trouble. Even the teachers. Mother was very surprised when she learned that the princess was going to live in her own house. It can be seen that the society at that time was full of prejudice against women. They were just taken advantage of for a while and were regarded as bad students who made trouble. But fortunately, the princess didn't fall into this trap. She understood that the only way out, so she enrolled in swimming lessons at school. Except for class every day, the rest of the time is used to learn swimming skills. Because when a person falls into the water, not everyone will pull you by the side. The princess studied swimming hard so as not to sink into the water to welcome a wider world. A few days after entering the new school district, the princess met a very sunny classmate. The first time they met, NC was deeply attracted by the princess's wonderful singing. NC also said that he and his classmates were working on a band and hoped that the princess could join them. But the princess not only ignored NC, but also warned him fiercely not to disturb her. But in order to find out where her mother lived, the princess was still a little friendly to NC and asked him to help her find a safer online environment. In this way, the princess and NC kind of built a little friendship. But for this relationship, the princess was still very conservative and careful and dare not let any uncontrollable factors ruin her new life. As time went by, the princess also gradually became sunny. In addition to NC's concern, she gradually forgot the pain of the past. In addition to learning swimming, the princess also began to try to get in touch with music to make her life more abundant. But although the princess has been working hard to accept everyone, she is still getting along with NC and slowly treating each other as her own friends. But the most annoying thing for the princess is that the band that her classmates made was to publish the material of their singing on the internet to get attention and traffic. This is undoubtedly the pain of the princess. The purpose of her coming to this school is to escape rather than to show off herself. Sure enough, a few days later, during a band rehearsal, the princess accidentally had a conflict with everyone. "Hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you filming like this? What are you talking about?" "I didn't film it. Hey! What's wrong with you?" This quarrel made the relationship between the princess and her classmates tense again. Even NC was also cold-shouldered by the princess. NC felt very sorry for this. She didn't understand that the princess had such a sweet voice and was good at all kinds of musical instruments. She could obviously rely on her talent to win the love of countless people. Why did she have to shut herself up? So in order to help the princess, when NC was not paying attention, she secretly took a picture of her singing process with her cell phone and sent it to the record company privately. The company fell in love with the princess's talent at first sight and even wanted to meet her offline. NC thought that doing so would win the princess's recognition and gratitude. Unexpectedly, what changed was still the cold-shoulderedness of the princess. This made NC very sad. She chased out of the classroom and asked the princess why she had to treat herself like this. Does she deserve to be cold-shouldered for her good intentions? Maybe NC's sincerity moved the princess. Although she didn't say the real reason for the cold-shoulderedness, she still chose to forgive NC. After all, NC was also kind to herself. After making up, NC took the princess home and took care of her like a sister. She also told her a lot of stories about her childhood and took the princess as her family. After this interaction, the princess not only got closer to NC, but also got closer to the band. They played the piano together, sang together, and recorded videos together. The princess finally agreed to participate in the girl group's audition. However, the princess had a condition that she couldn't post their videos on social networks. Although everyone didn't know the reason, she still respectfully agreed to the princess. What's scary? What's coming? A happy group life has just begun. But not long after, what the princess was most worried about still happened. Don't upload my face as you want.
Okay, what do you know?
Then why did you make this? Hey, stop it, stop what? What's so good about you? I don't like you. I'm setting the mood for you because of Yoon. Stop it. I've never asked you to be nice to me. I'm sick of you." In this way, she didn't panic. And from Yoon's expression, it's not hard to tell that she was very disappointed. She didn't want to hang out with the princess anymore. But she didn't expect that the video they uploaded would soon bring disaster to the princess. As the video quickly spread online, the next day a group of strangers entered the classroom and surrounded the princess. They kept pushing the princess away and said she was a whore. For money, they sold her body and so on. The princess was so scared that she could only run outside and ran all the way to the classroom where there were no people upstairs. She finally escaped the siege of the parents, and Eun was also scared by this situation. Now she gradually understands why the princess is always reluctant to expose herself. Because in the princess's heart, there is a terrible past that she never wants to mention again. Watching the news on the screen, Yoon and a few classmates finally found out the truth. The people who came to the school to find the princess were the parents of the boys who had violated the princess. And the reason they found the princess was to force her to sign a petition, because the boys who violated the princess are still locked up in the detention center. As long as the princess signs the petition, they can be acquitted. As for the slander that the princess did it for money, it's because the princess's father secretly took advantage of a few parents. He promised these parents that he would make his daughter sign the petition, but now the princess refused to sign the petition, which angered them. The classmates who learned of the situation really couldn't believe it. How could there be such a father in the world? Even his own daughter had to take advantage of it. It's like a beast, but it's not over yet. The father is just the tip of the iceberg in the whole incident. The more humiliating thing is still behind. I remember when the princess and Yoon met for the first time. Yoon took her to a safe place to go online. She also went to the internet cafe alone, but there were boys everywhere, which made the princess feel very scared. And the purpose of her going online was to look for a phone number that had been out of service for a long time. This empty number is the biological mother who disappeared from the princess for a long time. With the help of Yoon, the princess finally found her mother's new home. However, her mother's attitude made her feel deeply desperate. It hurts. "How did you know I was here? Did he tell you to find him? We haven't seen each other in 3 years. My father doesn't know. It's been 3 years, but we haven't seen each other. Instead, we treat each other coldly. Now the mother has already had a new life. She doesn't want to be involved with her daughter at all." It can be said that the indifference of the parents is an important reason for the tragedy of the princess, and the principal, who learned the truth, did not want to affect the school's reputation, but mercilessly expelled the princess. He also said that the school was a sacred place. There was no way to keep the princess here. It's really ridiculous for a principal to say such nonsense. Without the school, the princess lost the opportunity to go to school. The father is a drunkard who has no ability. Characters are not black and white fakes. Everyone has a choice. At the moment when Dong-Yoon dropped the medicine, his hand was trembling. But in order not to be bullied, he still drank the medicine. The movie originates from a real case in Korea. In January 2004, a female student in the second year of middle school in Gwangju City accidentally dialed the wrong number and hit a man in Myang City. The boy claimed that it must be some kind of fate that made him hear the voice of a girl and invited the girl to meet him. Unexpectedly, after the girl met her classmates and boys, the tragedy happened. The boy and dozens of boys beat the 3 girls and then took turns to kill them. And the more terrible thing is that after the incident was exposed, the boys who scattered into the cold were not punished because they were not yet 18 years old. I thought this was ridiculous enough. But after the incident, the whole society's attitude towards girls is simply more devastating than the movie.